Welcome to the Kony Technology Platform video series. In this particular video, we're going to look at Foreign Function Interface, or FFI. FFI is the way that we use to bring in, other people's code, third-party code, into a Kony written application. Currently, we support two modes of integration. One is for non-UI elements, functions that just return data. So, for example, let's say we want to check the battery level on the device, or we want to, return some other information about the device or something like that. We can do that, some mathematical calculations, things of that nature. And then the second one is we can launch off into a separate kind of mini apps that can take over the screens, have their own screen definitions. They can have more than one screen. There could be navigation. And then when the user backs out of that flow, it comes back to the calling app. A perfect example of that might be, there might be a third-party solitaire game that you want to hook into your app. So through FFI, you can hook up the solitaire game, click a button, launches into that, it takes over, the user plays the game, and when they're finished, it comes back to the app. So let's take a look at how we hook that up. All right, so in this particular application, this is our Kony retail vertical application. We've integrated FFI for barcode reading to do third-party software integration for barcode scanning. And the way it's done is as follows. Now, the first thing we want to be able to do is say, invoke this function from our Lua code. So the first step in defining FFI interface is to define what is that Lua method call going to look like in your Lua code. And then what we need to do is map that to the underlying, SDK call or whatever it is that we're going to be calling through that foreign function interface. Okay, so in this case, we've got a couple of them set here. We've got this scan barcode Lua namespace that has two functions, get scan code and get barcode, which is a Lua closure. Well, let's look at this get scan barcode. Okay, so it's a Lua method that returns a string and it has no input parameters. So namely, in my Lua code, I'll be able to assign a Lua variable equal to scan barcode dot get scan code. Okay, that will return the string value. Apparently this method is going to return the string value of the scanned barcode number. The next step is, once we've defined our Lua method, namely this is what we're going to call in our Lua code, is to now map that to that underlying function to do that call. When we do that, we have to provide the specific code bundle for each of the target platforms that we're generating. So for iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone 7, or J2ME. In this particular example, we've only configured two devices, the iPhone and the BlackBerry. Okay. In the iPhone device, we've mapped it to a zip file. This was created on the Mac. It contains a .h and a .m file, right? The main code file and the header file, and it's zipped up. We have to expose what class within those files we're accessing. We currently support static methods, and here's the method name in this class in that zip file. And it returns of type string. There are no input parameters, and we haven't defined any exception codes. And in the case of BlackBerry, we're going to be pointing to a jar file. So we point to a jar file that has the following package with the class name, and then this is the method that's going to get invoked. And again, there's no input parameters and there's no method exceptions, because we know this will return the string value of the read-in barcode. Okay, so that's basically how FFI works, is by creating the Lua definition and then mapping it to the individual bundles of code for each of the target platforms and associating that Lua call to a specific function call within that selected library. This library can be reused. It might contain 10 method calls. We can create 10 Lua methods that map to those 10 calls. We can use all or none. And then one of the options is we can choose, when we're bundling this up, to actually include the underlying APIs or not, because they might be present on the device already. We don't necessarily want them on there twice. Okay, so that was a quick review of what foreign function interface is. Thank you very much.